My beloved child, today has been marked as an important turning point on the journey God has prepared, especially for you. The hours unfolding before you are not merely blocks of time following one another on a calendar. They carry a deeper invitation. Awaken, listen, and prepare yourself to receive something new. I want you to understand that your life has never been abandoned to chance. Every time you rose after being wounded, every time you chose to continue even while your heart was weary, and every time you quietly held on to faith amid things you could not yet understand, you were being led toward this very moment. The 3 days before you are like a door slowly opening wider, not to make you fearful or hurried, but to remind you that the time of change is nearer than you think. I know you have endured long seasons when everything appeared to stand still. You prayed without seeing an answer, hoped only to face delay, and walked through darkness without knowing how far away the dawn might be. At times, you wondered whether your efforts were truly being seen and whether the tears you shed in secret carried any meaning. Today, I want to place my hand gently upon you and tell you this: nothing sincere that you have planted has been forgotten. The seeds of patience, kindness, faithfulness, and courage are still being nurtured beneath soil your eyes cannot see through. Silence is not proof of abandonment. Sometimes it is the very space in which everything is being arranged secretly and precisely. Therefore, do not look upon these 3 days as a promise that should make you tense while waiting for something extraordinary to happen. See them instead as an appointment to return to peace. Realign your thoughts and open your heart to God's guidance. Some new doors will not open with a loud sound, but through a timely meeting, an unexpected idea, an encouraging word, or a small decision you finally find the courage to make. Some answers will not arrive in the form you once expected, yet they will bring a goodness broader and deeper than you imagined. Keep your heart awake. Do not allow anxiety about tomorrow to make you overlook the gentle signs already present today. You do not need to control every outcome. You only need enough stillness to recognize the next step. Imagine a clear river flowing toward a dry and barren land. The water does not struggle noisily for its path, yet it steadily moves through every crack in the rocks and every shadowed place, carrying life wherever it has been sent. The good things prepared for you are moving in the same way. They may come as wisdom that helps you resolve a financial difficulty, an employment opportunity that allows your abilities to grow, renewed health through proper rest and care, or reconciliation that begins with one honest word. Do not limit blessing to only one form, because what you need may not always resemble what you are asking for. God knows what will sustain you in the long term, what will please you only for a moment, and what will bring you closer to the true purpose of your life. I also want you to remember that great gifts often require a heart wide enough to receive them. If you are still holding tightly to old bitterness, limiting beliefs about yourself, or fear of being disappointed again, you may unknowingly close the very place where renewal desires to enter. During these 3 days, make time to release whatever no longer serves your growth. Forgive, not because everyone deserves your trust, but because you deserve to walk lightly. Stop condemning yourself for decisions you made when you lacked understanding. Look upon your past with compassion and recognize how much the person you are today has matured. You do not need to carry every wound to prove that you once suffered. You need only carry the lesson so that you do not repeat the old path. You may be waiting for a financial change. Yet the first gift you receive may be the wisdom to manage what is already in your hands. You may be praying for a relationship to be healed. Yet the first step may be learning how to establish loving boundaries. You may want a door to open quickly, while what you truly need is to become steady enough that you will not lose yourself when you walk through it. Do not mistake preparation for delay. A foundation built quietly will always be stronger than a structure raised in haste. I am teaching you to distinguish what is attractive from what is suitable, what arrives quickly from what remains, and what excites you briefly from what truly produces lasting peace. You have already crossed valleys that once made you believe you could not continue. Yet you are still here. That alone proves there is a strength within you greater than you once realized. Every trial has trained your endurance. Every time you were misunderstood, you learned not to build your entire worth upon the opinions of others. Every time a plan ended, you learned to seek another path. Do not despise the version of yourself that once felt weak, because that person struggled day by day to bring you here. I do not love you only when you are strong. I remain with you when you stand firmly and when you must stop to breathe. God's choice concerning you is not based upon the fact that you have never fallen, but upon the truth that after losing your direction, you still turn toward the light. Therefore, during the 3 days ahead, slow down enough to recognize the subtle movements around you. Begin each day with gratitude rather than anxiety. Speak words that build instead of repeating negative predictions. Care for your body with respect. Fulfill your responsibilities with devotion, and treat the people you meet with gentleness. Do not sit waiting only for a great sign from heaven while overlooking the small acts of goodness already within your reach. A miracle sometimes begins with a phone call you decide to make, an application you courageously submit, an apology spoken at the right time, or an old door you wisely choose to close. When you cooperate with divine guidance through sincere action, the path will become clearer, one step at a time. I do not want you to live in fear that you will miss what has been prepared for you. What truly belongs to you will not easily be taken away simply because you were imperfect in one moment. However, you must be present in your own life instead of allowing old pain, distraction, or outside voices to make your decisions for you. Choose awareness. Choose trust without blindness, hope without passivity, and perseverance without exhausting yourself. Your harvest is not only about receiving something more, it is also the moment when you recognize that you have become deeper, wiser, and more stable. What once made you weep will not be given the authority to define the rest of your life. My beloved child, enter today with peace. Let these 3 days become 3 days in which you renew your faith. Cleanse your thoughts and prepare the deepest place within you to receive goodness. Everything may not change immediately in the way your eyes desire, but an important movement has already begun from the moment you decided that you would no longer bow before fear. I am walking beside you through every choice, every breath, and every small step. You have not been forgotten. You are not too late, and your journey has not ended. Continue planting what is good. Keep your heart pure and walk patiently, because what is cultivated through sincere faith will bloom at the most beautiful and appointed time. Remember Joseph, who was cast into the depths of betrayal and yet was eventually raised to a position no one could have imagined. His own brothers turned against him, stripped away the robe that represented his father's love, threw him into a pit, and sold him into a distant land. Later, even though he lived with integrity, he was falsely accused and confined behind cold prison walls. In the eyes of the world, his life appeared buried. His future seemed closed, and every good promise appeared to have become a distant memory. Yet, my child, what people call an ending is sometimes only a preparation room used by the Most High to train someone for a greater position. People saw a prisoner, while heaven saw a man being prepared to govern. People saw chains, while I saw hands that would soon be entrusted with authority. People heard the prison door closing, while I heard the gates of the palace beginning to open. Therefore, do not measure your future too quickly by the circumstances presently before you. There are seasons when you must pass through silence in order to learn how to listen. Walk through lack in order to appreciate what will later be entrusted to you. And endure misunderstanding so that your heart becomes steady before both praise and criticism. Joseph was not elevated merely because he suffered. He was elevated because, in the midst of suffering, he remained faithful, continued to do what was right, and refused to allow bitterness to turn him into another person. In the same way, your difficult days have not been forgotten. Each time you choose peace instead of resentment, patience instead of haste, and kindness, even when you are treated unfairly, you are placing another stone into the foundation of a new chapter. The movement you are sensing does not need to be loud. It may simply mean that an old door is closing so that you can be led into a wider place. I want you to understand that a true turning point does not always begin with an outward event. Often, it begins in the moment you stop seeing yourself through the eyes of those who rejected you. When you stop calling yourself by the name of failure, stop making your wounds your identity, and stop believing that the past has the authority to decide every remaining day. You have already begun to walk out of an invisible prison. Joseph first left the prison through the maturity formed within him, and only afterward did the outer door open. Therefore, do not merely wait for circumstances to change. Allow your heart to be renewed. Rise with the calmness of one who knows they have not been abandoned. Walk with the dignity of one who understands that their worth is not dependent upon the judgment of the world. Receive today as an opportunity to prepare for the goodness that is gradually taking shape. What is coming to you is not intended only for your personal comfort. A lamp is not lit so that it can admire its own light, but so that it may guide those who are still searching through the darkness. When you are strengthened, your steadiness will become encouragement to someone who wants to give up. When you are healed from painful memories, your gentleness will help others believe they too can begin again. When your work expands, your generosity may create an opportunity for someone who is struggling. When your family is restored, the way you choose forgiveness, listening, and love will become a testimony more powerful than 1,000 words. People may look at your results and call them luck, but those who watched you pass through the storm will understand that an unseen hand lifted you one step at a time. Your finances must also be viewed through new eyes. I do not want you to live in fear, but neither do I want you to chase easy promises that lack wisdom. The door of prosperity may open through a new job, a suitable contract, an idea developed at the right time, a skill you patiently cultivate, or a healthy partnership. Some opportunities may come from places you did not expect, but you will need alertness to recognize them, discipline to manage them, and humility so that blessing does not become a throne for pride. Lasting abundance is not found only in how much money you receive, but also in your ability to preserve, use, and share it wisely. Prepare your mind. Put disordered matters into order. Complete what you have delayed, and enter every opportunity with integrity. Great doors are often entrusted to those who have been faithful with small things. At the same time, be gentler with your health. Do not treat prolonged exhaustion as something you must conceal, and do not use faith as an excuse to neglect the care you need. Healing may come through prayer, rest, professional support, a changed habit, or the decision to leave an environment that continually drains you. I want you to learn how to listen to the signals within you, to stop when necessary, and to no longer regard self-care as selfishness. You were not created to live permanently depleted. Allow yourself enough sleep, balanced nourishment, appropriate movement, and help when you need it. What is sacred does not remove responsibility. What is sacred teaches you to treasure the life you have been given. A season of discernment may also be unfolding within your relationships. Some connections will be restored through honesty, while other doors must be closed in peace. Not everyone who once walked beside you is meant to enter every stage ahead. Some people appeared only to teach you about boundaries. Some helped you recognize the value of honesty, and some were sent to build something lasting with you. Do not preserve a relationship simply because you fear loneliness. And do not abandon someone merely because of one moment of wounded pride. Look at the fruit. Where there is respect, responsibility, peace, and growth, there is something worth nurturing. Where there is repeated control, dishonesty, contempt, and instability, you must reset the boundaries with wisdom. And if you wish to write the number 777 as a sign reminding yourself that you are ready to enter a new chapter, you may do so with an awakened heart. But remember, no number creates a miracle by itself, and no comment can replace prayer, faithfulness, and right action. What matters is not the symbol you write, but the decision you make afterward. Let 777 remind you of completeness, faith, and your commitment to live in a manner worthy of what you are asking for. When you say that you are ready, demonstrate that readiness by leaving behind old habits, forgiving what needs to be forgiven, learning what must be learned, and courageously walking through the door that is opening. My beloved child, great change does not always arrive with thunder. Sometimes it begins on a morning when you wake and realize you are no longer as afraid as you once were. Sometimes breakthrough comes when you have enough strength to say no to what once harmed you, or enough peace to say yes to an opportunity that once made you doubt yourself. I am reminding you that the prison is not your final address. Betrayal is not your name, and the years of waiting have not been meaningless. Continue walking, because a new chapter is not only being written for you, it is also being written through you. One day, you will look back and understand that the pit intended to bury you became the place where you learned to lift your eyes toward heaven. And the door that once confined you was the door that kept you safe until the right moment when your name would be called. You have been entrusted with this mission, not because you have never been weak, but because the light within you was refined through days when you believed you could not continue. I know there were times when you looked toward heaven and wondered why you had to carry such a heavy responsibility. And why, among so many people, you were placed beside someone who is wounded, lost, or resisting the very path that could lead them out of darkness. My beloved child, you were not chosen because you are perfect. You were chosen because you learned how to rise after life had shaken you again and again. Your seasons of loneliness taught you to hear cries that were never spoken aloud. The wounds that once caused you pain now help you recognize the suffering hidden behind another person's coldness. The battles you survived were not meaningless. They formed within you a gentleness that is not weakness, a courage that does not seek attention, and a faith that knows how to take root even before results can be seen. There were times when you believed you had been left behind, when your efforts appeared unseen and your sacrifices unrecognized. Yet I want you to know that not one of your tears has fallen without being held tenderly by me. Not one of your prayers has vanished into emptiness. Even when you felt you were walking through silence, I was still working within things you could not yet see. The moments when you chose love instead of closing your heart, and patience instead of giving up, were the very moments when you were becoming strong in the deepest way. In those seemingly small moments, you were helping to change a story far greater than you could recognize. I saw you walk through private valleys where no one understood what you had to fight each day. I saw you face fears that appeared too great, words of rejection that made you question your worth, and moments when you nearly believed you did not have enough strength to continue. Yet you came through. Perhaps you did not cross those valleys with celebration, but with small steps and tears. Perhaps you did not feel victorious. Yet the fact that you preserved your kindness after everything was already a great victory. This is why I know you can become a place of refuge for the person placed upon your path. Not because you possess every answer, but because you have learned how to be present. Not because you can repair them, but because you understand what it means to be supported when you believe you have been forgotten. Your presence in that person's life is not an accident. You are like a lamp placed where the winds are strongest, not to prove that you will never sway, but to show that light can continue burning even in the storm. There will be days when that person does not understand your kindness. There may be times when they answer your patience with silence, your love with defensiveness, or turn away precisely when you have given your greatest effort. In those moments, you may feel that everything you do disappears into emptiness. Yet I want you to remember that what is given from a pure heart is never lost. A gentle word may remain quiet for a long time before becoming a call that awakens them. One moment in which you did not judge them may become the memory that holds them steady on the day they want to abandon everything. A prayer whispered in the night may open a path your eyes have not yet seen. Some seeds you plant today will not sprout tomorrow, yet they are still quietly absorbing life. Some changes unfold so slowly that you may think nothing is happening. Yet I am working in the depths of their heart, in the place your words have already touched, even if they cannot yet admit it. Do not become discouraged too quickly when you do not see immediate results. Your perseverance is creating a strong foundation for lasting transformation. Trust that every act of kindness and every time you choose to remain rather than leave in anger is contributing to something more enduring than temporary emotion. However, I will not hide from you the cost of faithfulness. There will be nights when you carry concern for them into your sleep. There will be conversations that leave you exhausted because you must choose each word carefully so that you do not further wound a heart already covered with scars. There will be moments when you wonder whether remaining is wise or whether it has become a sacrifice no one acknowledges. I see all of it. I see the times you swallow your tears so that you can remain calm. I see when you lay down your pride to preserve peace. I even see the moments when you must step away for a while so that you will not speak from pain. None of your sincere offerings are overlooked. What you do in secret is still remembered. And every seed of love you plant carries within it a season of blossoming. Even if that season does not arrive according to your preferred timing. Today, you may see only dry ground, but I see tender shoots moving beneath it. Your endurance is creating a safe space where that person can gradually remember who they truly are. Imagine the day when they no longer bow beneath their old burdens. Imagine eyes once exhausted beginning to recover hope. A voice once trembling becoming steady. And feet that once wandered in circles around fear beginning to move toward the purpose prepared for them. When that day arrives, you will understand why you were called to remain near them during their season of darkness. You are not the one who creates the miracle, but your obedience has become part of the path leading toward it. You are not the source of light. Yet you kept the lamp burning until dawn found them. Even so, I want to release you from a burden you were never assigned to carry. You are not responsible for forcing that person to change. Love does not bind. Kindness does not manipulate. And genuine help does not turn you into the controller of another person's journey. You are invited to plant, to nurture patiently, and to protect through prayer. But you cannot use your hands to pull a seedling out of the earth before its time. There are lessons they must walk through personally. There are doors that open only when they freely reach out and touch them. There are truths they can receive only when their heart stops running away. Release the pressure to see immediate results. Your faithfulness is not measured by the speed of their transformation, but by the purity with which you love and the wisdom with which you preserve boundaries. You must also understand that standing beside someone does not mean allowing them to wound you without end. I do not teach you to call exhaustion sacrifice or to call losing yourself love. Sometimes loyalty is expressed by remaining. At other times, loyalty requires a sacred distance so that both people can see clearly. You can pray for them without carrying every consequence on their behalf. You can love them without agreeing with what is wrong. You can open your arms while still guarding the doorway of your peace from what repeatedly destroys it. Your mission is not to become anyone's savior. You are only a companion, a guardian of the light, and one who reminds them that there is still a way home. As you help them move closer to healing, you are also being transformed. Each time you choose calmness instead of reaction, your inner depth expands. Each time you forgive without denying the lesson, you become wiser. Each time you pray instead of feeding bitterness, your faith takes deeper root. That person is not merely someone you were sent to strengthen. They are also a mirror through which you can see the parts of yourself that need cleansing, the boundaries that need to be established, and the motives that need to become pure. Through this mission, you are learning how to love without possessing, to hope without controlling, and to give without demanding recognition. Along this journey, you will also learn how to rest without feeling guilty. You will learn how to return to yourself, Listen to the rhythm of your own heart and recognize that you too need healing, support, and love. Do not forget that you are not only someone who gives, you are also worthy of receiving. When you learn to care for yourself, you will have enough strength to continue the journey without losing the peace within you. Give yourself the quiet spaces you need, places where you can breathe deeply, release burdens that do not belong to you, and be renewed from within. Therefore, my beloved child, do not underestimate your role, but neither should you place that person's entire destiny upon your shoulders. Continue to be present with gentleness. Continue to speak words that bring life, and continue to trust that what is unfolding in secret may be greater than what you can see. When you become weary, return to me and be renewed. When you are confused, remain quiet long enough to distinguish what comes from love from what comes from fear. When you want to give up, remember that you do not have to fight through your own strength. I walk with you, uphold you, and protect you from losing yourself while you are helping another person. What I desire from you is not perfection, but an honest heart, wise obedience, and a love that knows how to give while still honoring freedom. Your part is to keep the lamp burning. Leave the rest to me, and I will fulfill it at the most beautiful and appointed time.